Hello, I am Simon of Moonstar Board Games. I love board games. I love talking about board games. I run a board game company in this series. What I like to do is I like to discuss a game which I really love, I really enjoy or really love, and why you might too. These are not how to play videos, so if you want to learn more about the intricacies of how the game plays, please look up a how to play. In this, I'll give you a high-level overview of what you're doing and why I enjoy those particular aspects. So, I want to talk about I think this is a grossly underappreciated game, and that is Kero. Kero by Prospero Hall, published by Prospero Hall, designed by, it just says Piero. Who's designed by? Just Piero. Okay, Piero, you made a great game. Um, my cat is jumping, sorry. Kero. Kero is a resource management against the clock dice rolling game. In Kero, players will have a sand timer which effectively times out how often or how much they can roll dice, such as these, which will give them the particular resource that they roll. So if you roll this, you have a cog, and those cogs can be used to do things like purchase cards, purchase land and settlements, maybe try and take special actions. That's the first turn player, etc., etc. The player who has the most points through a combination of acquiring land, putting out workers to claim lands or use lands, by taking cards, by taking what are they called? Turok cards or Turok cards. These cards. That player will win. So it's a bit of a point salad game. There's lots of ways to gain points, but we've all played point salad games. What makes this game just a rollick, like an actual rollick, is this need to roll dice in order to get the resources you need in order to gain or do actions in order to get points. And because you're doing it against the clock, it adds that extra level of just rambunctiousness, which I find very appealing. Now, I will say very quickly that we have made an alteration, or I have made an alteration. Did I write it down? I think I wrote it down somewhere. The game is, if you run out of Kero, if you run out of kerosene, meaning this resource, which allows you to roll dice and re-roll dice until you get what you want. We felt, and I've played this with a few people who've all felt that the game is a little bit forgiving in how much kerosene it gives you, and so it becomes kind of it's a full issue to deal with. It's not a true issue. It looks like one, but the ability to gain it back is too easy, and so we have limited how you do that. How you gain kerosene back is you, the player, once you've ran out, you give the other player all of these dice, you tip it up, in the base rolls, you tip it up, and then they have to roll these dice again and again until they have all flames. It sounds like it'd be difficult, but it's actually much easier to do than you think, and as a result, a player will be sitting here and they'll refill once for the entire game, and then it never becomes a burdensome kind of resource. So we've reduced the amount that you can refuel in order to increase the tension and increase the craziness. Because when you have just a little bit of sand left, and you are crazily rolling dice in order to try and get the resource you need in order to claim that piece of land or get that particular card, then that for me is a lot of fun. I love this game. Like it's What it's two player only, so I have to mention that it's two player only. I'm so excited, I'm spinning. It's two player only. It plays in 30 minutes, and that's about right. Um, and it's one of my favorite two player games. It really is. It's close to being. No, I wouldn't say it's my favorite two player game, but it's like 4K Horse Heresy are my favorite two player games. But it's up there. Like for what it does, for introducing someone new who maybe is like find someone who is has the capacity to play a point salad game, and also someone who isn't going to be overwhelmed by choice selection, because you can keep on re-rolling these dice until you hit a flame, at which point the dice is burned and you move it away. So say what I need to get is 3 cogs, and I need to get 2 wheat. That will allow me to pick up a card, which will give me a lot of points. I will start rolling the dice, but as soon as these, I can re-roll the dice as long as they haven't been burned. But as soon as they've been burned, they cannot be rolled again. So there's a very quick, against the time, push your luck mechanism, which might be a lot for some people. And also, given that it's against the time, and given that the dice might just give you something else, you have to very, very quickly be able to assess the board state. And okay, yeah, I haven't gotten what I wanted, but this is actually maybe better, and I can use this. I can use this, and I can do something else. So I have found this game to be overwhelming for some people, like too overwhelming for some people. If you play, I want you to buy this game. I want you to play this game. So if you buy it, or when you buy it, play it with the rules as written, as to how fast or how the play it rules as written when it comes to refilling your gasoline tank. Tell the other player who you're playing against that the gas is not as dangerous as it may seem, so they don't feel the extra time pressure of rolling the dice. They can take their time. A couple of other things to consider is it's a dice game, right? You're rolling dice for resources. There's not, I hesitate to say, because I like other dice rolling games. I have Project Elite and I have Escape. There's not a lot of difference between rolling dice for actions and rolling dice to move, in my humble opinion. So sometimes these dice are just gonna fuck you, and you need to be comfortable, and your opponent needs to be comfortable with that. If you lean into this is just a fun dice rolling, have a laugh, good time, and you kind of get over the fact that, yeah, you are trying to get points in order to win, then again, for me, okay, I'll say it this way. For me, with the right person who wants to get drunk or act drunk, even if we're not, and just have a great time, there aren't better two-player games than this. It's not going to blow your mind strategically or tactically. You can, I think, probably, as I said in other videos, probably get very good at the game in terms of knowing which of the lands are imbalanced, or which of the cards are imbalanced, or which of the pickups that you get from cards. Some cards will give you a perennial pickup. So this one will mean that every single time you roll, you can roll a green dice. You don't need to pay the resource to roll the green dice. I think you probably can get good enough to be a quote-unquote good player at this. I keep on turning away while I'm talking. I hope this hasn't messed up the whole thing. I think you can get good at the game. I don't think you want to. I think this game is about having fun. It's about throwing dice against the clock, and my sand timer's going down, but I need to get these resources because I want that card. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. And when your opponent, the yellow dice is rolled over, I've gotten so excited. When your opponent pays resources for multiple of the color dice and they both come up red on their first roll, it's and your opponent goes no, and then their brain explodes because now they're not going to get what they want, so now they have to readjust, and it's good. It's good. I don't think there's going to be a game that I'm going to talk about in as excitable a fashion as I talk about this. It's a casual game. Luck's involved. If you want to make it even more fun, reduce to only the 5 dice, because I think if I remember rightly, when you are refilling, your opponent rolls all 8 dice, including the colored dice, and when they're all flame up, then they stop. We reduced that to just the 5 white dice, which limits how long it takes in order to roll all the flames to stop the refilling for your opponent. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be as excited about a game as I am about Kero. It's just for what it does with the right person at the right time, 10 o'clock at night when you're a little bit drunk. It's just so much fun. You can turn your brain. No, you can't turn your brain off. It's a challenging cognitive exercise. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a lot of fun. It's so much fun. People talk about Project Elite, they talk about Escape. I have both of those games. I have the big box Escape, and I have the all-in pledge for Project Elite. Those games are great, but there's a lot going on in them. And of course, Kero only plays 2 players, so if you want to get that feel with more than 2 players, with 3 or 4 players, then Escape or Project Elite are the games to play. But you can scratch that itch, I think, with Kero, the dice rolling and against the clock. Well, not really. I mean, Project Elite, you're blowing stuff up in this. It's kind of post-apocalyptic, and you're just building your settlement, I guess you could say. There's a place for both. I'd say, but I do think you're gonna have the most fun with this, although it's pretty close with Escape and Project Elite. Anyways, talk too much about Kero. Go buy it. Piero, second name unknown. I love this game. I really love this game.